A single childhood memory is making your financial decisions right now. Not a habit, not a personality trait, a specific moment, probably from before you were 12, frozen inside your nervous system and running silently in the background every time you check your bank balance, hesitate at a checkout line, or lie awake doing math at 2 a.m. And here's what makes it dangerous. You almost certainly don't know which memory it is. Neuroscientists have a term for this. They call it a financial trauma imprint, an emotionally charged memory that gets encoded differently from ordinary memories. When the brain experiences financial stress or scarcity during childhood, the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, tags that event as a survival threat. And survival threats don't fade the way regular memories do. They calcify. They stay loud. Think about the first time you truly felt broke. Not inconvenienced, actually scared. Maybe the lights got turned off. Maybe your parents' voice changed when someone mentioned money. Maybe you watched something get repossessed, or you wore the wrong shoes to school and understood, for the first time, what that meant. That moment did something measurable to your developing brain. Researchers at the University of Michigan found that children who experience even one major financial stressor show altered stress response patterns that persist into adulthood. Here's why this matters more than most people realize. The prefrontal cortex, the rational, planning, future-oriented part of your brain, doesn't fully develop until your mid-20s. But the amygdala is fully online by early childhood. So when financial fear hits a young brain, it gets stored not as a reasoned memory, but as a body memory, a physical response, a gut feeling that arrives before any thought does. The science says you are not making financial decisions with your adult logic. You are reacting with a child's fear. Psychologists call this hypervigilance around money. You'll recognize it in yourself if you've ever felt a spike of anxiety opening a banking app, even when you know the number is fine. Or if you've ever earned more money than you've ever had and still felt somewhere underneath it all, like it was about to disappear. That feeling isn't irrational. It's data from a nervous system that learned a very specific lesson a long time ago and never got the memo that the lesson was over. But the imprint doesn't always look like anxiety. Sometimes it looks like avoidance. The person who refuses to look at their bank account at all, who can't open the mail, who self-sabotages right before a financial breakthrough. Sometimes it looks like compulsive spending, using money to generate the feeling of abundance, to counteract an old feeling of scarcity. The brain is resourceful. It finds dozens of ways to manage a wound it was never taught to heal. Dr. Brad Klontz, a financial psychologist who has spent 2 decades mapping these patterns, found that most people's core beliefs about money were formed before age 7. Before you could read a lease, before you could understand what a credit score was, before you had any real context at all, your brain had already decided whether money was safe or dangerous, whether you deserved it, and whether keeping it was even possible for someone like you. The technical name for these early conclusions is money scripts, unconscious rules that operate like background code. Things like, there is never enough, rich people are greedy, wanting more means you're selfish, talking about money causes conflict. You can hear these scripts most clearly in the things people say they believe about money versus the choices they actually make. The gap between those two things is almost always a childhood rule running unchecked. What's remarkable and genuinely hopeful is that neuroscience now shows these imprints can be interrupted. Not erased, but interrupted. The brain retains something called neuroplasticity well into adulthood, which means the neural pathway that links, say, The smell of financial stress to a full cortisol flood can be rerouted, but only if you name the original memory. The research is consistent on this. Vague awareness doesn't change behavior. Specific identification does. This is why traditional financial advice so rarely sticks. Telling a person who has a survival-level fear of scarcity to simply start a savings account is like telling someone with a fear of heights to just go stand on a balcony. The instruction is technically correct. The nervous system will not cooperate. The intervention has to happen at the level where the problem actually lives, not in the spreadsheet, but in the story. So here is the question that does the actual work. Not what is your credit score, not what is your savings rate, but this. What is the earliest memory you have of money feeling unsafe? Sit with that. Most people can name it within 60 seconds. A specific scene, a specific feeling, a specific version of themselves who decided something about the world that day. That child is still in there. And right now, without your permission, they are still at the wheel. The moment you first felt broke hasn't ended. It's been replaying on a loop your nervous system set up to protect you. Because that's what nervous systems do, they protect. But protection designed for a powerless child is a cage for a capable adult. The science doesn't say you're broken. It says you're responding perfectly to an old threat in a new world. And the most financially transformative thing you may ever do isn't open a retirement account. It's go back and tell that child the emergency is over.